back to my channel Tutelage, a guide to economics. This is Sriparna. Hope you are doing well. In my previous session, we have already described law of variable proportions and law of returns to scale, production function, short run and the long run thing. So if you have missed my last session, please go through this link which is given in my description box and my first comment also. So today we will discuss one of the most important topic in economics, that is concept of demand. So learner, let's check what topic or subtopics we discuss for today's session and go to the next slide. Here, this is the next slide and we can see some subtopics for today's session. The first one is the concept of demand, that means the definition of demand also, and the second one is types of demand, third one determinants of demand, the fourth concept is the concept of demand function, demand schedule and demand curve, and graphical representations of the demand curve at last. Clear? I hope it will be one of the more helpful session to everyone. So let's begin the session and move on the next slide. Here, this is the next slide for definition of demand. So demand is the quantity of consumers who are willing and able to buy products at various prices during a given period of time. So in ordinary sense, consumers' desire is considered as consumers' demand. But in economics, this is not considered as consumers' demand. So consumers' desire plus willing to purchase or ability to pay, both are important for the definition of demand in economics. So demand includes the purchasing power of the consumer to acquire a given product at a given period. So consumers has to willingness to pay a price for the specific good. So for example, when you have to buy an iPhone, in economics it is not an effective demand. When you are able to make a payment for the iPhone, for the particular iPhone 11 or 12, then it is referred as demand in economics. So if you can't pay for the amount for the particular commodity, so you have no effective demand. So clear, what do you mean by a demand in economics? Clear, not in an ordinary sense. Now we are going to the next slide. Here this is the slide for types of demand. So demand is of two types. First one is a direct demand and second one is a derived demand. So direct demand is a demand for a final product or final commodity. That means, for example, the demand for food, the demand for clothing, etc. So it is known as an autonomous demand. So it is not dependent on the other products. Now we are going to the next one, that is the derived demand. So derived demand is a demand for a product that comes from the uses of others. So for example, the demand for pencils will result in demand for wood, graphite, paint, eraser. So demand for wood is dependent on the demand for pencil. So it is dependent on the final product. Clear? What is the basic differences between the direct demand and the derived demand? Because direct demand does not depends on the other products, and the derived demand depends on the final product always. Now we are going to the next slide, and which indicates some determinants of demand. The first determinant is the expectation of consumers. So people will buy more of something or the product or goods or services. So if they suspect, if they believe the value of the particular commodity will increase in near future, so that's why the amount of demand That's why the amount of demand will change due to increase in price. Now going to the next one, that is the income of the consumer. So obviously the amount of consumers income will determine the demand. So more income, the more demand. Going to the next determinant, that is the price of the product, and this is a very much important determinant of demand. And so demand and the price both are inversely related to each other, because one increases, another one decreases. So and vice versa is always true. Now we are going to the next. So fourth determinant of demand is availability of alternatives. So consumers will turn to an alternative product when the price of one increases. The alternative product is of two types. So one is complementary products. So complementary products or goods are those goods which are consumed together. So consumer uses these goods together. For example, the left shoes and the right shoes, both are complementary to each other. So one price of the one product, price of the one commodity or product goes up, the demand for other complementary products goes down, because both are complementary to each other. And another alternative products type, that is the substitute commodity. So do you have any idea what do you know by a substitute product? So substitute products or commodities are those which can be used in place of one another, so to satisfy a particular want of consumer. Clear? So tea and coffee, as the tea and coffee is the example of substitute commodity. Now we are going to the next determinant, that is consumer preferences. Obviously, because people or consumer purchase things based on their lifestyle, how they feel about the brand. If someone is concerned about the environment, so they will avoid plastic bags and they will prefer the paper bags only. Okay, now going to the next point, that is the market size. So there are more buyers available in a market, so overall demand increases. So amount of demand depends on the size of the market. Clear? And last but not the least, the determinant is advertisement. So advertisement are helpful in catching consumers attraction, informing availability, and demonstrating the products use. So they get so much attached to advertisement which are endorsed by their favorite celebrities. So advertisement will influence the amount of demand for the particular commodity or product and services. Clear? Now we are going to the next concept, that is law of demand, and which is one of the most important concept for today's discussion. So we have already known there are various factors. So individual expectations, so price of the product, price of the other related products, taste and preferences, and the availability of alternatives. So but we consider only for developing the law of demand, price, and other factors, other things remain constant, and this situation is known as the ceteris paribus condition. Ceteris paribus condition, it means only price changes, only price of the product changes, other things remain constant. So if the price of the commodity increases, the demand for the particular commodity falls, and vice versa is always true. So price and quantity demanded both are inversely related to each other. So law of demand describes an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded of a good. I think it is clear to everyone, and it is a very simple topic also. Now moving to the next slide. Here this is a slide for demand function. So demand function indicates the functional relationship between the quantity demanded and the various factors of demand. So we can see in symbolically Q equals to function of Px, Py, Y and T. So the demand function says the relationship between the consumer's optimal choice of the quantity of a particular commodity and the price of the commodity. Now we are going to the next slide, and which indicates the what is Px, Py, Y and T, etc. So the demand function is Q equals to function of Px, Py, Y comma T. So what is Px? So what Px means the price of the X commodity, Py means price of the other related commodities, Y means income of the consumers, and fourth one is taste and preferences, and both are the determinants of demand, and Q means quantity demanded of the particular commodity. Now we are going to the next slide on the next concept also. So the next concept is the demand schedule. So demand schedule is basically a tabular representation that shows the quantity demanded of a particular goods or services at a different price level. So now we are going to the next slide, where we can see the demand schedule. So this is the tabular representation of the demand schedule. So this is the price of the this is the price of the commodity column, and this is the quantity demand of the particular commodities column. So for price rupees 5, the quantity demanded is 100. The rupees 10, the quantity demanded is 80. Rupees 15, quantity demanded is 60, and so on. So price increases, so that means price increases 5 to 10, 15, 20, 25 and so on. The quantity demanded decreases 100, 80, 60, 40, 20, 10. So one increases, another one decreases. Clear? So price and quantity demanded, according to demand law, price and quantity demanded are inversely related to each other. One increases, another one decreases. Clear? Now going to the next concept, that is demand curve. So demand curve shows the relationship obviously between the price and quantity demanded. Here is the new slide for demand schedule. So demand schedule is a tabular representation which shows the quantity demanded of a goods or services at a different price level. So I think it will more helpful, it will more easy to understand with the tabular representations, and that's why we are going to the next slide. So here is the tabular representation of the demand schedule. So for rupees 5, the quantity demanded is 100. For rupees 10, quantity demanded is 80. The rupees 15, so quantity demanded is 60. So there is two column, one is a price of the commodity and another one is a quantity demanded for the particular commodity. So price increases 5 to 10, 15, 20. So quantity demanded decreases, so 100 to 80, 80 to 60, 60 to 40 and so on. So demand according to law of demand says the price and quantity demanded both are inversely related to each other. That means one increases, another one decreases, and vice versa is always true. So I think it is clear to everyone what is demand schedule and all. Clear? Now we are going to the next concept, that is demand curve. So demand curve obviously shows the relationship between price and quantity demanded, and I think it will more easy to understand with the graphical representation of demand. So now we are moving to the next slide. So here is a graphical representation of demand curve. So price of the commodity measures in the vertical axis or the y-axis. Clear? And the quantity demanded for the particular commodity measures in the horizontal axis, that means the x-axis. Clear? So from the demand schedule, we have given some combination point. The first combination point for A, that is 5 comma x comma y, the combination point. So x for 100 and y for 5. And for point B, the combination point is 80 comma 10. Clear? So we can put these combination points like A, B in the graph. So this is point A. Clear? So this point indicates, one second. This is point A. It indicates a combination point that is 100 comma 5. Clear? And this is point B. It indicates 80 comma 10. This is C. It indicates 60 comma 15 and so on. The locus of all these points is known as demand curve. Clear? So price of the commodity increases, the quantity demanded for the particular commodity decreases, and vice versa is always true. So both are inversely related. That's why demand curve is a downward sloping curve, because one increases, another one decreases. Clear? Now I think it's clear to everyone. Now we are going to the next concept, that is market demand curve. And market demand curve is the summation of all the individual demand curves in a given market, basically. Clear? So now we are going to the next slide, and that is for the graphical representation of market demand curve. So the first figure, the figure 1 indicates the individual A's demand curve. The figure 2 indicates the individual B's demand curve, and figure 3 indicates the market demand curve. And we have already discussed demand curve shows the inverse relationship between the price of the commodity and the quantity demanded of the commodity. And because these two are inversely related to each other, that means one increases, another one decreases, and vice versa is always true. And individual A and individual B, the summation of individual A and individual B indicates the market demand curve. Clear? And the nature of individual demand curve is same as the nature of market demand curve, because market demand curve is also a downward sloping curve, and it indicates also an inverse relationship between price and the quantity demanded, because for price P1 the quantity demanded Q1, for P2 so price decreases from P1 to P2, the quantity demand increases from Q1 to Q2. That means one increases, another one decreases. So learner, that's all for today's session. We have already explained in this session different concepts like the definition of demand, determinants or factors of demand, and most important topic, that is law of demand. And next one is the demand schedule, demand curve, and market demand curve also, and its graphical representations. So I hope it is all clear to everyone. So in my next session we will discuss another important concept of this topic, that is exception to the law of demand, and the differences between the change in quantity demanded and change in demand. Okay, so if you have any query, questions or doubts arise in your mind, so please feel free to ask, and I will come back again with an super duper exciting session. Till then, stay tuned. But not the least, please like, share, comment on the video, and do more subscribe to my channel. Thank you.